Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel, Art Classes My Way. Now that I've done a few ring videos for you in wire weaving, because there's many more techniques as far as making a ring goes out there, but as far as wire weaving, that ought to at least get you started. So for this video I am going to be doing the next thing that was requested of me, and that was about my bench blocks. Those things. And let's see, there are dapping blocks, more like this, and the form there. This is a forming block, and so they're pretty different from each other. So we're going to start with the harder one of these. I'm not going to be able to demonstrate all the things you can do with him. If you notice a little stuff on there, that's just mineral oil to keep it from, just completely rusting over, because these guys are steel. Not stainless steel, just pure steel. So that will rust, but it is more durable in the long run. So you just got to take care of them when you get a nice one like this. Now they do come in, maybe not the forming block, but a lot of dapping block sets will come in wood as well. But we're going to worry about this guy, and as far as wire weaving goes, you can use this for a lot of things, and including, if you're not just a wire weaver, if you have a couple of other things that you want to do with it, like making parts for bezels and different things like that, it's a great little tool to have. Trying to look and find all my tools here, because I thought I had them all, and I think there was a bad cat that's run off with something. What we have here is some 16 gauge wire. Just open this up a little bit. It's a nice thicker wire. Now depending on where you rotate this guy, there are some pretty small areas that you can use. But this guy ought to work just fine for demonstration purposes. I'm going to just cut myself a length of this. Here. Straighten out this little crook. There we go. If you notice, with this side here, you have these nice little flat areas. Now that's what I would use to make a bezel, and you can take wire, larger gauges, and it will depend on the form block that you end up getting. They do make form blocks that are a little bit smaller than this, and probably 14 gauge would be a little bit better for demonstration on mine. Mine's pretty big, but we will make do. But this would be like a really good one to make bezels. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to stick your wire in here, and then you can use your hammer. Again, you might end up having to heat it up, so that way it won't be as work hardened, and then it'll be able to puddle and forge a little bit better in here. So I would say that one's really good for making bezels or little high walls. If you don't want to go through a piece of metal or a sheet of metal like this guy and end up just cutting through with a C-shaped saw, a smaller version of them, that's a lot of work, a little tedious to just be cutting through like that, a little annoying. So you can just cut yourself a length of wire to what you need, put him in this guy, hammer it down. Now, of course, you will have to cut it, because as you're hammering and you're reworking metal, it's going to puddle. It's also going to lengthen. That metal's got to go somewhere. So always keep that in mind also while you're doing this. You don't want to put a piece of wire in here that is the same size, because then it's going to get really butted up against these walls here. And then one, it could either end up being impossible to get out because it's so jammed up against here, or in this shape, or you're going to end up with where it will take this shape and then you're going to end up with like a layer on the top, so it's going to be kind of like a stair-steppy kind of effect with only one step. So that's what this is pretty much for, and it's a great little tool for it, and it goes a lot faster than trying to saw through a piece of metal. Now, if you have tin snips, that's a pain in the ass. Don't bother with it. There are also like giant shears, great big humongous things about the size of a table that will come down and cut metal. The only problem with that is that it will leave you with very unappealing edges. So now you're going to have to do a lot of sanding or a lot of filing to make those edges more appealing overall, because it doesn't exactly cut, it just bends it a little bit, so it's forming your metal anyway. It kind of pretty much works fairly similar to these guys, these nippers here, the straight ones. And because it's normally on such a larger scale, it's never as pretty of an end as with this. And even when you use these guys, sometimes you still need to file the end of your wire with it. So that's this side. Now, as far as this zigzaggy side here, I only know one way to really use these. I guess if you want to use it for a angle, because it's not going to give you a 45-degree angle, or even a 90, well, it probably is 45. It's probably not going to give you a 90-degree angle that I can see anywhere on this, actually, just looking at it. So you couldn't make boxes or anything like that with it. And you could possibly use it for a texture. You're going to have a hammer with a pointed in. You'll see those where it's kind of like a wedge that'll hit down in here, but even then it's not going to give you exactly this perfect of a, crease. It's not even a 90 coming out there, but from the side here, this dip, I don't think that's even a 90. Oh well, but anyway, I was always taught how to make a 90-degree cut better, and I mean, just folding a piece of metal, the metal's got to go somewhere. So since you're going to be, if you've tried to fold it, all the metal that's in the crease really doesn't have any place to go. So it gives you kind of yicky looking corners. I was taught to use a hand file to get your corners, and then when you fold it, then it folds in nicely on itself. All that extra metal is gone, and it makes a nice clean little corner. Now, as far as wire weaving is concerned, and really the only thing I can think that you would really want to use these for, and let me find the smaller version. Here it is, and that'll work. Yeah, my wire's not exactly big enough. So yeah, not the same piece of wire. Actually, I ended up twisting the two because things weren't going the way I wanted them to. But twisted them so that way I have a bigger wire, and we'll see what kind of a texture this gives us. And took my little lighter here. I do have a little torch for like the kitchen. It's a butane torch for the kitchen, but this does not merit all that fire. So I've already heated it, and he's warm to the touch, but still completely tolerable. So let's see what we get. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and reheat him. See if we can't get a little more out of it. Ow. Alright, right, just give it a few seconds so that way I can touch it again. So how are you all today? I'm fine. Thank you for asking. And I am trying to find the exact names of the people who more or less have requested this video, or it's going to be a set of videos. I want to do it in smaller chunks. Kyle Osnack. I am so sorry if I am not saying that correctly, but I have no idea how to pronounce your name. But that's okay. Everybody's been mispronouncing my name since the day I was born, so, you know. And it's a very common name, but whatever. And Your Royal Highness. Little Miss Snooty Pants, aren't we? But yeah, those are the two viewers who have requested a video showing what all you can do with these things. Now, I'm not going to tell you everything or show you everything that you could do with these. That would almost be a channel all by itself. But I will work towards it, and I'm going to at least make you guys 3 major videos dealing with the Dapping block set for now. So I do hope you enjoy them. All right. Yep, I think it's cooled down enough. Yeah, I can handle it again, and let's go back at it. I think we got it. About as much as it's going to do. So if you guys can see, let me get my camera to focus on the wire. So we gotta take everything out of the background. And if you can see, as he's twirling, we now have a triangular shaped, a little dirty there, piece of wire. And we can reheat it up. Now, it's not going to be super bendable or pliable, but it is something that you could use for a base wire, or even just one. This is definitely strong enough for it. One single decorative wire that just loops around, or even just goes around the piece itself. And then you have, you know, like your 2 bits that come up at the top, curl them for the necklace to go through, the actual threading part, and then just leave it simple. So you can see he's moderately pliable there. And then that'll just give you a little bit of extra texture. And you can do woven wire, you can do whatever kind of wire you want. And that ought to kind of give you a little idea there. So yeah, it's got some really nice sharp edges. Not cutting sharp, but it might be something to keep in mind, and maybe even just take your file and just lightly go at those edges, just so that way they're not super duper sharp. They feel nice just running my fingers over, but that would be something be a slight bit worrying for me anyway. Let's cut off the gnarly end. There we are. And again, you could even use this as a bezel. Solder the end together, or ends together, and just leave it super simple. A lot of fun. With just a little bit of heat. Again, flat bezel, you do the exact same thing, it's just going to be a flat bar. You have your triangular set, which really I guess I should show off these guys here. And here you can make your own wire, pretty much dome. Which point I think this is going to also... Let's have a go at it, shall we? So this is the domed part on top. So you still got the roundedness of, but it's a lot more uniform. And then you have a flat side. So it just gives you a half circular shape that you could turn your wire, or give your wire, instead of spending so much money on the already pre-shaped stuff. So that kind of pretty much helps you out for that. And as far as anything else, pardon me, to do with this, the form, and especially as it pertains to wire weaving, because I really, other than bezels, I don't really see that much use for the form itself. It probably has more use in wire weaving, actually. And obviously, big wire. No, these larger slots are probably more, I can see more uses for these guys than I can, like the bezel side and the triangular sides there. So yeah, that is pretty much what you could do with the form block. And then from there, our next step is going to be this guy. This is the dapping block. Now, he's not too terribly much use to you, unless you have his more or less his counterpart. Now, this doesn't come with like the 41-piece dapping block set that I have. He's pretty much purchased separately. And I'll show you all the steps for that, plus what we're going to do with this guy from there. And there's a couple of other things we could even do with him as well. So thanks for coming and hanging out, guys. A pretty short little video. I do hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And the comment section, that's for you guys. Just go ahead and do what Her Royal Highness and Kyle Osnick. Your name's Kyle Osnick, if that ain't it. At least to me, you are Osnick. This video was pretty much requested by those two, and that is what the comments section is for. Please use it. And I do hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks for coming and hanging out, and have a good one.